What's up, EV Clan? Alex Espion here, and welcome back to the next episode of the Pokemon Red Randomizer Nuzlocke. In this episode, we will be making our way to whatever the island which which Articuno is found on. Whatever it's called. I don't recall what it's called. I keep on saying Whirl Islands, even though I'm sure that's not correct. I'm sure that's Lugia. But I don't recall what what Articuno's cave, what that whole island is called. I love swimming. What about you? I enjoy swimming to a degree. So anyway, in the previous episode, I said, I have a series of things to say, and I don't know what is the best way to say them. I don't know what is the best order in which to address things. First of all, I looked up, in between episodes, whether or not my brother was actually right about Focus Energy and its effects in Gen 1. And upon doing a quick Google search, I was able to find a Reddit post saying that, yes, Focus Energy does, in fact, lower critical hit rate in Gen 1, rather than increasing it like it was supposed to do. Oh, look, a Victory Bell! This would spawn an entirely new can't wait to talk about this for 5 episodes. But speaking of that, I will actually address things having to do with Victory Bell pretty soon. However, first I'm going to finish the critical hit thought. So basically what I found was a Reddit post that said that Focus Energy in Gen 1, rather than multiply, it was supposed to give you 4 times the critical hit rate, when instead it divided your critical hit rate by 4. So that is obviously a significant reduction to your critical hit rate. It is quite literally a move that lowers a stat, not like an actual stat, like a stat that you can see on your Pokemon. Belly Flop, not like a Pokemon stat, like a base stat type of stat, but it is a stat. It is a number that exists in battle that is taken into account. We actually haven't gotten an encounter on this route, so I guess this would be it. I think that it's level 5, so obviously we'll never use this, but hey, maybe someday we'll lose a Pokemon. Hopefully we won't ever lose a Pokemon ever again in this Nuzlocke, but if we do, I mean, I guess this is good fodder to throw out to die. Just in case we ever need to switch something into die, this would be great. Because I sure as heck am not training this thing up from level 5 to level, I don't know, 50 at this point, was what I would have to do. Training Oliver from level 35 to level 50 is already going to be, like, a decent commitment that will require me to send Oliver out against a lot of Pokemon. And so, like, I am absolutely not training a level 5 Pokemon up to level 50. Like, this thing is never getting trained up to join the main team. If it ever does come onto the team, it will be to die. Like, let's make that very clear. But yeah, my brother was right on this one. It actually reduces the... Focus Energy actually reduces your crit rate rather than increasing it, because of a programming mistake in Gen 1. Which makes it, I believe, the only move in Pokemon's history that lowers a stat without making up for it in any way. It is literally only a hindrance. It does nothing good whatsoever. The only effect it has is a negative one. Like, obviously there are moves like Belly Drum, where it's just like, it cuts your HP in half, and that's all well and good, but at least that does like a good thing. Like, it's sort of a gamble, but it has a bad effect, but it also has a good effect attached to it too. Also, we have thrown 4 Great Balls at this thing, and this thing still isn't getting in, so at this point, I'm not really sure what to do, if I should keep wasting throwing Great Balls at this thing. Because it is just a level 5 Beedrill that I'm probably never going to use. I'm going to throw one more. If you don't get in this one, I'm killing you. I will kill you. You call my bluff. I'll throw one more. One more, because I'm a nice guy. I wasn't actually being honest with you. I will throw one more. I will give you one more chance. But this is for real the last one. You caught me on a good day, Beedrill. I'm going to give you one more chance. This is your, for real, last chance. If you don't get in, you will die. Okay, goodbye, Beedrill. Goodbye, Beedrill. I gave you one more chance twice, okay? So, this time, you're broke out again, so you're done. You're done, Chief. Sorry. Rules are rules. I set the rules, and now I'm gonna make good on my promise. You are dead. You are dead, sir. Should have gotten in the ball. Sucks to suck. So now we are going to continue on down this route. I'm just sort of going down this route in like a line, like going like through down lines, like line across the route, down, line across the route, down, because I don't want to miss any trainers. Like the ocean, this route is very wide, so I want to make sure that I'm seeing everything on it, because that's just how I play Pokemon. I want to fight every trainer. I want to get every Pokeball within reason, of course, and sometimes without reason. But what's beyond the horizon? Probably the sun. Usually, like during a sunset, you look into the horizon, you see the sun. It's like it's behind it. You look to the horizon, you don't see the sun because it's in the horizon, but you see the sun because it's like behind the horizon, like behind the horizon line. Anyway, this thing probably can't kill us before we kill it. We are pretty low on health, but we are 8 levels above it, so I think we should be fine. Yeah, that tackle didn't do a whole lot. Even a crit wouldn't kill us right now, and we are the ones actually getting crits, which is great. Lady Luck helping me out for once here. I will say, Slash does have a high critical hit ratio, so maybe Lady Luck not helping me out all that much, but I still appreciate any favor I can get from Lady Luck, because she doesn't give me a whole lot of them. Anyway, we are going to switch Oliver out now, because fighting a Pokemon that is, like, yes, this thing is still quite a few levels below them, like 9 levels below Oliver, but this is a fully evolved Pokemon, so I'm a little less confident in Oliver's ability to take out this one. So instead, we're going to switch to a Pokemon that also needs XP, so not like Andrew or Polly, but something that won't die to this thing. So that leaves Carly or Gerald as Pokemon I want to set out. I would go for Carly for this specific, I'm gonna go for Carly for this specific, situation. But yeah, like, you have moves like Belly Drum that, like, lower your health, and, like, that's a bad thing. But to make up for it, they also maximize your attack, which is a really good thing. So Belly Drum, despite the fact that it lowers your health, you may look at it, and it's like, oh, it cuts your health in half, this move is terrible. But actually, it's kind of worth it on, like, the right Pokemon, it's really good. Like, obviously, you don't want to use it on, like, a slow Pokemon when the opposing Pokemon is super effective against you, because then you're just gonna freaking die. But, like, there are many situations where Belly Drum is a nice move to have. Like, obviously, if you've ever played competitive Pokemon, I don't know actually how viable this is a strat in competitive Pokemon, but if you've ever played, like, randomized, not randomized, if you've ever played, like, random matches in Pokemon Showdown, I don't know which generation this is in, but it is definitely in A generation. Basically, like, one of the randomized, obviously, like, Pokemon Showdown, what is really good about it is, like, they can give you, like, random teams. And, like, that's great for people who don't want to build teams. I've built a lot of Pokemon Showdown teams over the years, and I've used a lot of them. But, if you don't want to do that, then you could always just load up random battles, and I feel like that's what a lot of people do, because they don't want the commitment of, like, building their own teams, and, like, using them. Like, they want to just hop right in, pick up some random Pokemon, and start battling. And that's fair. If that's all you use Pokemon Showdown for, that's perfectly fine. But, I have made quite a lot of teams in the past, and I had so many teams until my Pokemon Showdown account got hacked, because my password was the same as my username, so that's a shame. But, like, at this point I don't even care. Like, literally, any number of people could continue to hack me at this point. I'm fine with it, because at this point I care so little about my Pokemon Showdown account. It's like, literally, they deleted all the teams, so it doesn't even matter to me anymore. It's just like, the only time I'll ever use it is freaking to just do random battles. Like, and even then, I haven't used my Pokemon Showdown account in ages. And, like, even if I wanted to do random battles, I wouldn't even need, like, I wouldn't even need the account. I could just do that, like, without an account. But what Oliver is evolving? Again? Crazy. Wacky. It's almost like that's what I wanted. They're evolving into not a Charizard, like you would expect, but an Oddish, actually. Which means they will be needing another randomized evolution, and possibly more after that, to become a fully evolved Pokemon. But, like, yeah, there's like a randomized move set. There's like a randomized set. Basically one of the random, and they give you like a lot of random Pokemon to work with in like Pokemon Showdown random battles. But the cool thing is that these random Pokemon are all like decently competitively viable. Like they're not bad. They're all built for like competitive battling, which is great. I tried diving for Pokemon, but it was a no-go. So they give you like really interesting Pokemon that you wouldn't see in competitive Pokemon really, but they make them sort of competitive. So I don't know if this is an actual like, competitive set, but it is a set that I saw on Pokemon Showdown that makes a lot of sense. Basically, one of the randomized Pokemon that they give you in these random battles is a Linoon with Belly Drum and Extreme Speed. And like I said, I don't know how much this is used in like actual competitive, but it sounds really good to me. And obviously, when I use it, it performs quite well. But basically, what is so clever about this is the fact that Linoon is a normal type with decent attack. Like Linoon is a Pokemon that not a lot of people use because obviously a lot of people when they're making their main teams for like a generation tend to gravitate towards Pokemon that are like that have like 3-stage evolutions, and like in general people just don't use a lot of like Route 1 Pokemon because they want to like look for something better for their main team. They are under the impression that like Route 1 Pokemon are less than Pokemon on future routes, and that is true to an extent, because like Route 1 Pokemon, some of them are really bad, but a lot of them are actually quite good. Like, for instance, Rattata, like, you wouldn't think to catch the rat and train that one up, but Raticate's actually really good, as you can see by the fact this Raticate here is wrecking this Mew. Yeah, like, there are a handful of Route 1 Pokemon that just get, like, a bad rep, and people don't want to use them purely because they're on Route 1. And, like, yes, maybe it's not, and, like, in some cases, yeah, it's not purely because they're on Route 1, it's also because, like, they don't look very usable, they don't look very impressive, don't look like the kind of Pokemon you'd like to use in a battle. And, like, I will say, Zigzagoon doesn't look like a very good Pokemon. Like, you look at it and it's like, oh, look, what's this scrappy little thing? Help! I mean, I'd love to use a Zigzagoon, because I love raccoons. In case y'all didn't know, I don't think I've ever mentioned that before, so I don't know how you would know. I actually love raccoons. They are, like, one of my favorite animals. And so, I see Zigzagoon, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's so freaking cute, I want one. But, that might not be a lot of people's reaction to Zigzagoon. They might just be like, oh, here's a weak Pokemon that I'm gonna destroy. But, like, I don't know if a lot of people use Linoon in like, actual competitive Pokemon. But, like, don't sleep on it, because Belly Drum Extreme Speed Linoon is actually really good, because Linoon's attack is decent. I don't know if it's as high as, like, Raticate's, but I know Raticate's is, like, very high, so and, like, Raticate is a Route 1 normal type. They are, like, all Route 1 normal types follow, like, a lot of the same rules. Like, I'm sure they have, like, very similar stats, because they're, like, the same type of Pokemon. Like, I'm sure that a bunch of the legendary birds, not legendary birds, I'm sure, like, because here's the thing, on Route 1s in Pokemon games, you have Route 1 normal types, and you have Route 1 birds. That's the two Pokemon that you find in, like, every Route 1 game. In every Route 1 game, there's a Route 1 normal type and a Route 1 bird. In Gen 1, you have Rattata, the Rattata line, and the Pidgey line. In Gen 2, you have, the Hoot Hoot line, and the Sentret line. I don't know why I reversed that. First I said the normal type, in Gen 1 I said normal type first, and then bird second. That time I said bird second, and bird first and normal second. Normal type second. I actually do know why I'm lying. I'm actively lying to y'all. I do know why. It's because I, for a second, forgot that what the normal type, Route 1 normal type was in Gen 2. And then I remembered Furret. Because I never remember Sentret. I can't remember Sentret for the life of me. But then I remember Furret, and I'm like, oh yeah, Sentret is a thing. I always just remember Furret as Furret. Like, I never remember it as the evolution of Sentret, because Sentret is just such a boring Pokemon. And Furret is kind of a boring Pokemon too, but they have a song about them. And they walk. Like, they may be a boring Pokemon, but like, other Pokemon... Okay, here's the thing. Other Pokemon may have quads, and one of them may literally be God, but Furret can walk. That's the thing about Furret. That's the thing that a lot of people don't seem to understand. Other Pokemon can shout, and shoot lasers from their mouths, but Furret can walk, in case y'all weren't aware. in case you weren't aware of Furret's special skill, they can walk. That's what they do. That is what puts them above so many other Pokemon, is that they can walk. And you may be thinking, but Alex, so many other Pokemon can walk. But no one does it quite like Furret. Anyway, so Gen 3. Route 1 normal type in Gen 3 is Zigzagoon, and Route 1 Bird is Tailo. Gen 4, Route 1 normal type is Bidoof, and then Route 1 Bird is Starly. Gen 5, Route 1 normal type is Patrat, and Route 1 Bird is... I don't know Gen 5. Give me a second. Is it Pidove? I think it's Pidove. He's not on Route 1, I don't even know. I mean, it would have to be the Route 1 Bird. Every generation has a Route 1 Bird. I don't know where to find Pidove, but I imagine it's Route 1, because there has to be a Route 1 Bird. Every generation has a Route 1 Bird. So I doubt that, like, Gen 5 would be the only one. And, like, I can't think of what else would be the Route 1 Bird. So I guess it would have to be Pidove. Even though I don't recall that being on Route 1, I'm sure it is. I just haven't played Gen 5 enough. I'm sure. I'm sure that Pidove is located on Route 1, I just haven't played enough Gen 5. Because, like, it absolutely wouldn't be, Rufflet, or, the other one. What is... Oh my gosh, Mandibuzz. What is the thing that evolves into Mandibuzz? I don't even know. I don't know Gen 5. Like, I'm not exaggerating when I say I don't know Gen 5. Like, a lot of Pokemon, I am, like, a Pokemon professional. I know so much about Pokemon. One thing I do not know, Gen 5 Pokemon. Or Gen 5 story. Literally, like, Gen 5 is just a massive blank to me. I know Gen 4, I know Gen 6. What's in between? No idea. Could it be Gen 5? Never heard of it. What is that? Not familiar with it. These waters are treacherous. Never got past the first town Never got past the first town. That makes it sound like I never got past the town you started. I never got past Gym 1 in my black and white randomizer, so I wouldn't know. And I gave that 4 runs, too. Maybe even 5, I don't quite remember. I'm sure I said it in a previous video. I feel like I remember talking about this in a previous video. But I did try to Nuzlocke Pokemon Black blind on a crappy emulator that couldn't run it well. And, I died, and then I was like, I'm not gonna spend 2 hours getting back there with all this lag, so I'm just gonna give up now. And, like, I did give it, like, 4 or 5 attempts before I gave up and said, I really don't want to do the beginning of this game again with all this lag. Like, I will do a Gen 5 Nuzlocke at some point, but just not with a laggy-ass emulator like this one. So, Arbok is coming in. I don't really care what's coming in, because regardless of what it is, I'm going to send out Oliver to get that XP from Switch Training. Love that there's no Arena Trap in this game. Takes all the stress out of Switch Training, because literally, like, in Randomizer, Switch Training is made so much more difficult by the fact that anything could have Arena Trap or Shadow Tag. Literally anything in Gen 3. Gen 3 and onwards, literally anything could happen. And, like, as the generations go on, more abilities are introduced, which obviously decreases the rate of having Arena Trap or Shadow Tag, because obviously more abilities means more abilities that Pokemon could have their abilities randomized into. So, like, statistically, yeah, the further in you go, the less Arena Trap and Shadow Tag you'll be seeing after Gen 3. Like, Gen 3 is the first game to introduce abilities, and it has both Arena Trap and Shadow Tag. So it is just terrible, because that game, given the fact that it is the first game to introduce abilities, and it also has Arena Trap and Shadow Tag, it is the first game to introduce abilities, meaning it also has the least amount of abilities, and 2 of those abilities are Arena Trap and Shadow Tag. That would mean that means that, like, that is the game where it is most common to get Arena Trap and Shadow Tag, which stinks, because Pokemon Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald are great games. They're fantastic, but it makes them kind of a pain in the neck to Nuzlocke. There are so few abilities comparative to other games, and 2 of them lock you in, making Switch Training a pain in the butt, because there's a chance with any Pokemon you run into that your Pokemon will just get the Pokemon you Switch Training will just get locked in and die. Ooh, dangerous. But yeah, basically, where was I? Oh yeah, so I did Gen 5, Route 1 normal type, and Route 1 bird. Swimming's great, sunburns aren't. Facts. So then Gen 6, Route 1 normal type is Bunnelby. As I discussed in a previous episode, I don't like Bunnelby. I like a lot of Gen 6 designs. I don't like Bunnelby, and I hate Diggersby even more. But, hey, Route 1 Bird makes up for it, because Fletchling is my boy, and it evolves into Talonflame, which is fantastic. Literally, like, best fully evolved bird Pokemon. If you say it's Pidgeot, best fully evolved Route 1 Bird. If you say it's Pidgeot, get out, you're a Gen 1er, we don't want you here, just kidding. Love you. I love all Pokemon fans. Regardless of your stupid takes, because I'm sure I have a lot of stupid takes too. Like for instance, Gen 4 is bad. Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon are good games. Fight me. Fight me in the comments. I want engagement. But yeah, Gen 7, Route 1 normal type is Young Goose, another terrible one by the way. And Route 1 bird is Pikipek. Shocker! Yes, it is a shocker. I feel like you're being sassy with me, girl. I feel like you're being sarcastic with me over here, but a lot of people may not know this. Especially because this is a Gen 1 game, so people who are watching this who have never seen Pokemon games before might be really confused about future Pokemon. They might not know a lot of future Pokemon. They might not know any future Pokemon. They might not know anything about Pokemon besides what I'm showing them here, which is Gen 1 Pokemon. So maybe you know what the Gen 7 Route 1 bird is and what the Route 1 normal type is in Gen 7, but many people watching may not know. So stop being sassy with me, woman. Anyway, I swam here, but I'm tired. Facts. Sounds like a first world problem to me. Anyway, so Scribe wants to fight. That's what a Scribe looks like, in case y'all are unfamiliar. And then Gen 8, normal type, Route 1 normal type is Wooloo. And Route 1 bird is Rookidee. And that covers all of them. Actually, I could probably do Gen 9. I haven't finished Scarlet and Violet, but I don't need to finish Scarlet and Violet to, like, know this, I guess. What is Route 1 normal type in Scarlet and Violet? Route 1 normal type is... I keep thinking... I just can't get Palmy out of my head. Like, I think of Route 1... I think of Route 1 in Scarlet and Violet, I think Palmy. And I know that's not a normal type, but, like, that's a Pikachu clone. Every generation has those too. But that's a thing for another day. Right now we're talking about Route 1. It's super effective, don't care. Gerald can take it, this is a bad switch. But Gerald's got this. I believe in you, Gerald. Watch this damage. That was not very good at all, actually. Gerald might die here. Good thing it wasn't a crit. That would have been embarrassing if Gerald died to a Geodude. So we're gonna switch Gerald out for someone else. Hate to play the constantly switching game, but that's what we're going to do. Scarlet and Violet normal types. What are they? What are they? Oh, Lechonk. Lechonk is the Route 1 normal type of Scarlet and Violet, and the Route 1 bird is something else, which I cannot recall right now. What are bird Pokemon in Scarlet and Violet? Like Flamigo, but I don't think that's a Route 1 bird. I think that that's like near Route 1, but I don't think that's on Route 1. I don't know what the Route 1 bird is. I just used Fletchling, which is also found on Route 1, I think. But surely there must be a Route 1 bird. And surely it's not Flamigo. Like, I know that's near Route 1, but like, that's not Route 1. Where Flamigo is located. Certainly that's not Route 1. I know, like, Kilowattrel? I think that that's, like, the final evolution, but there are, like, these birds that are, like, electric. It's like Kila something, and then Kilowattrel is the final evolution. Maybe the first one isn't even, Kilo, maybe it's Zaptrol or something like that. Zaptrol and Kilowattrel, that sounds like it makes sense. I'm fairly sure it's Kilowattrel. I don't know what the first one is. This is the problem with nicknaming Pokemon, is that you don't learn their actual names, you just learn the nicknames, and then, like, when someone asks you to actually, like, name the Pokemon, you're like, well, I know what it looks like. I can picture it in my head. I just don't know what it's called because I nicknamed it. So therefore, I saw the name for, like, a total of 10 seconds when I was catching it. And then now it's called Robin, for example. Like, bruh, if Bellybolt wasn't such a funny name, I wouldn't remember that. I just remember Bellybolt as Wrong Bulb, because that's what I named it, because I was looking for a Bulbasaur, and that wasn't a Bulbasaur, it was a freaking Tadbulb. I'm exhausted! I think that, in general, like, just having a Pokemon on your team helps you remember the name much more. Oh, I just love your ride. Can I have it, if I win? My ride? What am I riding on? I'm riding on my starter. No, you cannot have my ride. I hate to say it, but I just can't recall Gen 9, Gen 1, Gen 9, Route 1 bird. Oh my gosh, it's gonna bug me until I find out. Hold on, let me look it up real quick. Give me 1 second, guys, while I pull up Pokemon database for a hot minute. Scarlet and Violet, give me 1 second while I pull up something for a minute. That doesn't make any sense. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet Pokedex. Show me Pokemon database. Pokemon database is superior. If you use Bulbapedia, you stink. Just kidding. I don't discriminate. But I will say you should probably use Pokemon database instead. It really depends on what you're looking for. But like for actual Pokemon stats, you should definitely use Pokemon database. Oh my gosh, is there literally none? Like Fletchling, Fletchinder, Talonflame. That's what I'm seeing. It's like in the Route 1 section. I'm seeing Lechonk. I'm seeing the Lechonk line. I'm seeing the Taruntula, Nimble line. But like that's all the Gen 1 lines. There's 2 Gen 1 bug lines and 1 Gen 1 normal line. But I'm not seeing, sorry, not Gen 1, Route 1. Gosh. But I'm not seeing a Route 1 bird beside, like literally in the Route 1 bird section, all in like the Route 1 section of the Pokedex. Like it's not like an independent section, obviously. Like it's not like an actual section where it's like listed. But I'm not even seeing a Route 1 bird. I'm not even seeing a Route 1 bird. I'm not even seeing like a bird in the Route 1 area of the Pokedex besides Fletchlings, besides the Fletchling line. And then like Rookadies a little later. What is the first bird? What is the first bird in the Pokedex? There is literally no Route 1 bird. Literally none. That's crazy. That doesn't happen in Pokemon games. That's wacky. Anyway, you learn something new every day, guys. The reason why I couldn't name one is because there is none. Wacky. Crazy how that works. See, I knew I was a Pokemon professional. What did I tell you? I know all about Pokemon. I couldn't name one because there was none. It was a trick question. When I said, oh, why can't I name Gen 9 Route 1 bird? It's because I wanted you to say, because there is none. I was testing y'all. I knew there wasn't one the entire time. That's why I looked it up and wasted all your time. Just kidding. I did not know. I was not aware. I was not aware in the slightest. You learn something new every day, guys. But anyway, so people just tend to sleep on the Zigzagoon line because they're like, first of all, it's a raccoon. It's a tiny raccoon. That's what it is in Pokedex. The tiny raccoon Pokemon. And like that doesn't sound intimidating. But Linoon is actually decent. And like I don't know about other like Route 1 normal type lines, but I know that the final evolution of the Route 1 normal type line in Gen 1, Raticate, is freaking busted, as I will demonstrate by killing this Tentacool with it. It's got really high attack, so I don't know how Linoon's attack compares to Raticate, but I'd imagine it'd be quite similar, because I'd imagine all the Route 1 normal types have like quite similar stats, at least like quite similar base stat total. Route 1 normal type final evolutions. Because like I'm sure there's like different ones are spread out differently. Like I'm sure that like Diggersby is more of a physical attacking defensive Pokemon, while Yungoos is more physical attacking speedy. I just compared a fully evolved Pokemon to a not fully evolved Pokemon. What I meant to say was Gumshoes instead of Yungoos. So I don't know like how they compare, but I'd imagine they're all fairly similar. Although I have seen what havoc Raticate can wreak, and I haven't heard of I guess Diggersby can do things. That is also something that they put on Pokemon Showdown teams. But like, I haven't heard of, say, Watchog wreaking that much havoc as Raticate. So I'd imagine that like some of them are stronger than others, but I just don't know why they would be. Because like we all agree like they should have the same base stats, right? Similar base stat total. But like maybe Raticate's just really busted compared to them. Like maybe Gen 1 they made like a really busted, fully evolved Rat 1 normal type, and then they decided in future generations to make them less busted. So Raticate's just the best one. But I'd imagine Lanoon's attack is really good, like comparative to, like I'd imagine that their attack is like, attack stat is like comparative to Raticate's, and then rather than being built in defense and attack, they are built in speed and attack. And like the speed is great, but it's not actually needed for the extreme speed belly drum moveset, because regardless of Lanoon's speed stat, Lanoon's speed stat is quite high, but in case anything does outspeed them, extreme speed always goes first, at least in normal circumstances. Obviously there are ways to get around high priority moves, but extreme speed has like +4 priority, I think, so it goes first over a lot of things. I don't know if it has higher priority than quick attack, or if they're like same priority, it's just extreme speed is higher power, but all I know is that extreme speed has quite a bit of priority, and I don't know how much quick attack has. It might be the same, it might be less. I'm leaning towards less. I'm leaning towards less. I think it has less. I'm gonna look it up in between episodes. I might, if I remember. We'll see. My memory sucks. But yeah, the thing is that, like... Oh, I lost. The thing is that what's really cool about Lanoon having extreme speed and belly drum is that since it has belly drum, like, the thing about belly drum is that it maximizes your attack, and Lanoon's attack stat, as I said, is already probably quite high. But, like, there are Pokemon that beat it, because it's, like, it is a Route 1 normal type Pokemon. Like, there are plenty of Pokemon, I'm sure, that beat it, because obviously they wouldn't make something that broken on Route 1. Like, it's great, to an extent. Like, I'm sure its attack stat is good, but not as good as, like, say, the attack stat of a fully evolved 3-stage evolution. Because getting a 3-stage evolution is more work, especially when Zigzagoon evolves into Lanoon so early, comparative to when you would get the final evolution of a 3-stage evolution line. But yeah, I imagine its attack isn't nearly as good as the attack of, say, an Incineroar. But I'd imagine its attack is pretty good. And so it has good attack, but that attack it has good attack and good speed, which is great, but those stats can be made better, because Belly Drum maximizes attack, so you have already fairly good attack as a Lanoon, and then you are maximizing your attack to make it like 4 times what it is, which is crazy if you think about it. And then, so the drawback, obviously, is that you lose half your health. Seems fair. Like, you are making yourself an absolute heavy-hitting monster, but in return you can't take hits. You can't take too many more hits. Your health has been split in half. You have put a quicker timer on your life in exchange for the ability to do more damage. You have made your life more fragile in exchange for the ability to make everyone else's as well. That is the trade-off with Belly Drum. You sacrifice your health in order to be able to take more of the opponents. But the thing about Lanoon is that they have extreme speed, and like their speed is already they already have quite high speed. But then, so like the Belly Drum thing, yes, it means that like their attack is cut in half, their health is cut in half. So yeah, they have high attack now, but it's a Lanoon, so if its health is already cut in half, it's not going to be able to take too much more. You will probably get one-shotted from half health as a Lanoon. You might get one-shotted at full health from most things, because Lanoon is not that tanky. But the thing about Lanoon is, to make up for that, they have pretty high speed. Which means that you will be getting hits off, like, yes, you will probably die in one more hit after using Belly Drum. But you will be able to get hits off before you do, and probably kill a bunch of things because you're fast, and the Belly Drum has made your attacks do tons and tons of damage. So you will probably be able to one-hit KO things before they attack you. The water is shallow here, so the only hope of the opponent, because they're not going to be able to take a lot of hits, because you are hitting them with stab, normal type moves, and your attack is sky high, so they're not going to be able to live things. They're not going to be able to live your hits, which means that their only hope is to outspeed you and kill you before you can hit them, obviously that's quite hard, because, and obviously that can be quite difficult, because Linoone has fairly high speed. But, what makes it even more difficult, hey, you could theoretically get a Pokemon that has higher speed than Linoone, and then Linoone gets one-shotted from there. So, here's the thing. Already, because of high attack and high speed, Linoone is a really good candidate for Belly Drum, because they are frail. Them cutting their health in half is not a huge... Them cutting their health in half does not really do all that much, because a lot of things will one-shot them anyway. Their health is not something... Your health... When you're using Linoone, your health is not really something you're concerned about, because Linoone's life is so fragile, they're such a frail Pokemon, that you could probably get one-shotted from full health. So what's the difference between full health and, what's the difference between full health and half health? What, you die to, like, you die to, like, a few more things? Like, a lot of things would have one-shot you anyway, so what's the point in taking away a little bit of your health? So that's why Linoone is already good for Belly Drum, because their health is something they're not, like, conserving, they're not a defensive Pokemon, so they don't need that health. Their strat is to hit you hard quickly, which means that they are a good candidate, because already their attack's pretty high, and their speed is good, so that means that once they get that Belly Drum off, they can start hitting things, they can start one-shotting things, and keep on attacking before the opponent can land another hit. So, like, already, just stat-wise, Linoone would be a good candidate for Belly Drum. However, oh my gosh, Oliver evolved into a Nidoking. That's crazy, because Oliver used to be a Nidoran, and then I was saying, oh, how do we evolve? And then I was, like, saying, I don't know if we could get a Nidoking, though, because I don't know how to evolve Nidorino into Nidoking. But then I realized, like, oh, we're not going to get a Nidorino anyway, so we won't end up with a Nidoking either way, because, like, I don't know how to evolve Nidorino into Nidoking, but we don't need to worry about that anyway, because we're never going to get a Nidorino, because the Nidoran will never evolve into a Nidorino, so therefore the Nidoran will never evolve into Nidoking. That's what I thought, and then this Nidoran, through randomized evolutions, evolved into... I'm probably forgetting something. They evolved into a Bulbasaur first, possibly? I don't think that's what they evolved into first, but they evolved into a Bulbasaur, which evolved into a Charmander, which evolved into a Charmeleon, which evolved into an Oddish, which evolved into a Nidoking. Crazy how it all comes full circle. And the Pokemon it lands on is the final evolution of the Pokemon we started with. Wacky how that works. But now, we have a Nidoking. So I really can't complain, because oh my gosh, we have a Nidoking. Why are you riding a Pokemon? Can't you swim? I mean, theoretically, yeah, but like, we're in the ocean. Like, I doubt... most 11-year-olds probably can swim. I wouldn't be surprised. Like, I learned to swim when I was 10. So, I would say that most 11-year-olds can probably swim. So I wouldn't be surprised if this child could swim. However, we're in the ocean, so it might be a little harder than just, well, swim, child. Like, I think it makes it a little bit harder, the fact that there's, like, waves and rapids, and like, oh my gosh, that did nothing? Yeah, it's defense curling? This is not good. I looked at my Pokemon, I was like, we have nothing to do with this. What I forgot was that the Pokemon I'm surfing on. The Pokemon that I am surfing on, which therefore must have surf, because how else would I be surfing? Silly me. Forgot that my Jolteon knows surf. What a silly thing to forget, right? Like, who would forget that their Jolteon has surf? It's such a simple thing to remember. It's like, what an ordinary thing that every Pokemon trainer should know. Your Jolteon has surf. What a simple thing. What a simple idea for me to forget. Silly me. What am I, an amateur? Not remembering that my Jolteon has Surf? Crazy. Honestly, I probably should, because I'm on top of him. Like, he certainly remembers he has Surf. I'm riding him. I am on top of his body. I am weighing him down. I am sinking him into the ocean. How does this Jolteon even carry me? Like, Whalmer, I get. Like, you're riding around on a Whalmer? Fine. You're riding around on a Lapras? Okay. You're surfing on a Blastoise? Whatever. You're surfing on a Jolteon? Like, this thing does not look like it can ferry me across the water. I am not learning Pin Missile. Not happening. I learned Piss Middle. And we have another Golem, because the first one worked out so well. And here we go again. Second verse, same as the first. Down you go. How long is the surf animation gonna take? Like, did you really need 2 spouts of water? Honestly, it makes me kind of mad. They're like, it's 2 spouts of water, and they're not, like, center. It's not like 1 spout of, like, they're not splitting stage. They're not splitting center stage, you know? It's like, one is over on the left side, and one is over on the middle. Like, you could have done one over on the left side of the Pokemon, one over at the right side of the Pokemon. Or you could have done left, middle, right, and made it do 3. Like, it's not, my problem isn't that it's taking so long. My problem is that it's taking long, and it's also just doesn't look aesthetically pleasing. If it was just 3, it's like 1, 2, and you expected there to be another one on the right side, because it went left, middle, and then you're expecting a right. You're expecting it to go from left to right, and, like, stopping on the right side of the Pokemon, but it did not. It just did 2. It did left and middle, and that's just not, like, very aesthetically pleasing. Ouch! Torpedoed! So, in summary, that is my rant about the Gen 1 animation for Surf and why it's bad. I wish I could ride my water Pokemon. Nobody cares. I don't read anyone's dialogue after I defeated them. I thought that I hadn't fought you yet, so that's why I read your dialogue. But silly me, I forgot that you're bad and I already beat you. Put on cool shades. Insert me putting on cool shades here. Just kidding, don't do that, Editor Alex. I don't even know where you would get that footage, because I don't really have cool shades. I don't own a pair of cool shades. I own a pair of, like, probably really geeky shades. Like, I don't think I own a pair of shades. I don't think I own sunglasses. I think I would have to, like, look through my mom's closet or something for sunglasses. And I doubt they would be that cool, but, I could theoretically find shades. Don't know how cool they would be, but, I could probably find some shades. Although y'all definitely would not see, regardless of how cool they are, whether they're cool or not, y'all would not see me putting on the shades, because, y'all get face reveal when you subscribe more. Get me more subscribers, and then you get a face reveal. I'm not gonna give you one for free just because I said I would put on cool shades. Seafoam is a quiet getaway. Seafoam Island, that is what it is. Not Whirl Island, Seafoam Island. I do not have a lot of water. I forgot to get extra water for this recording session. So, I mean, I was gonna go on for longer, but I guess I'll just wrap up here before my voice freaking dies. Gonna drink some water right now, and I'm gonna finish the Lanoon Thought. When I finish the Lanoon Thought, I will end off the episode. So hopefully I finish the Lanoon Thought soon, because I don't want to leave you hanging with this Lanoon Thought. I don't want to be talking about Lanoon and then end off the episode before I finish talking about Lanoon. If we miss this move, we die. Wouldn't it be crazy if we did, though? Like, wouldn't it? Like, I like to keep y'all on your toes with like the unexpected risks and like the near-death experiences. That was a fun one. Also, what's not very fun is this sound effect saying I'm in red health when there's not even color to the health. My gosh, I'm gonna drink the water now. I've just been holding the water in my hand and playing with the other. Hold on. Okay. That was quite a sizable burp. Y'all definitely heard that one. There's not a doubt in my mind. And so, yeah. Basically, Lanoon, just looking at its stats-wise, would already be a good candidate for Belly Drum, for the reasons I have previously stated. Obviously, it has high attack, and that normal type stab, it has high attack and high speed. Quit it! It has high attack and high speed, so that it can land a bunch of normal type. It can land a bunch of high power normal type stab. It can land a bunch of normal type stab with high power, because most normal type moves are physical, especially normal type moves that it learns. land a bunch of normal type moves, normal type stab moves, and they'll be very high power. Hopefully this woman here heals me, because I could use a heal up right now. If she does not, then I will simply have to use a hyper potion. No, she's a trainer. She will not heal me. She will kill me. I love floating with the fishes. That sounds like a threat. It's like, you're gonna float with the fishes, laddie. Lassie. Sorry, not laddie. Lassie. Gave you a female voice and then called you laddie. My bad. I like to talk like a pirate. Maybe I should just like talk like a pirate for an entire episode. That would be pretty funny, I think. Maybe I'll do that next episode. If I remember to do that next episode, I'll do that next episode. Probably won't remember, because my memory stinks. But anyway. It's like, oh my gosh, this stupid red health sound effect. I hate it. Youch. It's like so obnoxious in the old games. In the new games, they fixed it and made it like less obnoxious. And I guess that isn't really like very good. Because like, now it's drawing your attention less. Which actually is making your life more at risk. But for the purpose of me not being annoyed, it's great. But yeah, Lanoon is hitting hard with. Lanoon is getting that has that normal type stab and high attack, so that they can hit hard with that normal type stab because a lot of normal type moves are physical, and they have that high speed, so that they can land the hits. So that to make up for the fact that they have that high speed, to make up for the fact that they are frail, so that they can land hits before dying, land super powerful hits that will probably kill the opposing Pokemon before they can even make a move. But what happens if Lanoon theoretically meets with a Pokemon that outspeeds it? Theoretically, what would happen? Well, if this was just any other normal type Pokemon with high attack and high speed, then this would probably be curtains. However, this is not a problem for Lanoon, because Lanoon, what's special about Lanoon, which makes Lanoon so good for this set, for this belly drum strategy, is that it also gets extreme speed, which not only is high power, so it's good for killing, so it has good killing potential as a stab normal type move after they've used belly drum and their attack is skyrocketed. It is a super powerful. It is 80 power, which is solid power and stab, and it's physical. So the belly drum will boost it to super high power. But on top of all of that, it has +4 priority, which means that it will almost always go first. So Lanoon can. So since Lanoon has both belly drum and extreme speed, they can set up their attack, make it super high. Lowering their health, but it doesn't matter that they've lowered their health, because you will not hit them from here. From here on out, you will not hit them. I also, speaking of hitting things, killed the Doduo, which was my encounter, but that's okay, because we don't need any more Pokemon at this point. Honestly, I've got so many backup Pokemon in the box, it's fine, it's whatever. Yes, they'd be a hassle to train, it would probably be better to get a level 31, but I think we're good. I don't mind doing a little bit of training if needed. I'd never shy away from a little bit of grinding, even if it's a little long. But anyway, yeah, so basically, thing is that extreme speed allows this Pokemon, which after using belly drum has had its attack put to an insane stat, put to an insane amount. It allows the Pokemon who's had its attack put to an insane amount due to belly drum always go first, allowing its essentially rendering its cut in half health no longer a hindrance, because the opposing Pokemon probably won't even get a hit before it is killed by a move that always goes first against it. So essentially, Lanoon has made itself super buff with super high attack, and now it is using a move that will outspeed the opposing Pokemon no matter what, killing them before killing Pokemon that are killing frail Pokemon, and even Pokemon that are not terribly frail, before they can even make a move. So really, the only way out of a situation against a Lanoon with Belly Drum and Extreme Speed is to have a defensive Pokemon that has enough defense to live a Stab, 80 power, normal type move, Belly Drum boosted. Which sounds crazy, but that is like your only way out of this situation from here. Because like Belly Drum's already very broken. It just makes all moves do crazy amounts of damage, because 4 times your normal attack is a lot. But you put it on a move, but then you give the Pokemon with Belly Drum a move, Extreme Speed, and oh, now it's crazy. Now this is absolutely insane. Because not only are they hitting you hard, but also not getting hit themselves. Not only are they hitting you with crazy amounts of damage that that most Pokemon probably couldn't even live, so they'd have to outspeed and kill it before it can even attack, but they can't even do so, because Lanoon is always going to go first against them, as long as it keeps on using Extreme Speed. So yeah, in summary, don't sleep on Lanoon. Lanoon with Belly Drum and Extreme Speed, kinda busted. I don't know if they use that in competitive Pokemon, but that is one of the most clever, most like well thought out sets I've probably ever seen on Pokemon Showdown in like random teams. And I think that more people should know about that, because I think like whoever came up with that set, very clever, very good. I love the idea. I like where your head's at. But anyway, that is gonna do it for this episode. Thank you all so much for watching, EV Clan. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And this is Alex Espion, signing off.